ladies and gentlemen, this next guy on, it is an absolute honor to have this guy on the show. He's played 758 games in the NHL over 15 seasons, racked up almost 1,500 minutes in the box. He's a 4-time Stanley Cup champion. Woo! I want to give a big hat trick hockey welcome to Mr. Darren McCarty. Darren, how's it going?
Listen, Tony, listen, I want you to, and you guys, I'm going to, listen, it's all about, I always say, enjoy my truth. So just so everybody knows out here, Tony the Tool Bag, Goddad, which is your host, right? Who's anyways, we've done this already once. So if you hear snickering in there, it's because we've already talked, but unfortunately, because of COVID circumstances, the technology wires wouldn't work, and there was something in there, and I fucked it up. I will take responsibility. So, Tony, you'll have to please introduce your cohorts here before I absolutely get in your ass. But whenever you introduce me, sir, please end with Essex County's own. Do we not all share Essex County, you fucking tool? Jesus Christ. Tony the Tool, Goddad, baby. There he is. Hat trick hockey at its finest.
Breathing it all in, taking it all in.
It's fucking on today, folks.
On to my first question, man. How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, you buttery, brown-nosing little Draper clone. Just want to suck up the management. And fucking, how was your Thanksgiving? Listen, bro, I'm a double dipper. I'm Canadian, right? I eat it whenever else. You know, for us Canadians, Christmas is when it's at, because most of us can't decide. We're just happy to get 2 meals. All right. But it was very good. Thanks for asking, sir. I had this new thing. Listen, have you, a Thanksgiving turkey slider, bro, is late with all the fixings in a slider. That's the latest and greatest. So you're lucky, Tool Bag, you brought that up, but I had a great Thanksgiving over here. The people out there
fucking clubhouses for weeks.
Listen, over in Canada, it's like, why is he asking something happened a month ago? Because that's the Tool. He's from Harrow, guys. He's from Harrow. Don't hate him. He's from Harrow.
Aren't you sweet?
So am I, but I'm actually in Colchester, so I prefer to say Colchester.
No, you're fine, bro. That's why you and I
know I'm fine.
I'm Claude Lemieux. I'm Claude Lemieux.
You know how many bush parties I've been at in Colchester? I mean, Jesus, that's where I learned how to get a freaking 4x4 out of the mud. Come on, man, get Colchester spots.
That's something you take for life, man.
That's not Harrow, bro.
I don't live in Harrow now, though. I live in Essex.
You're from Harrow, bro. You can never get that stank off you, kid. You can't lose that stank. Like, I'm from Leamington, so not to mess with me, because it doesn't matter. I got 8,000 different ethnicities to pick from. You never know who's some friends of mine.
True.
Just saying.
Oh my God.
Just keeping it real, bro. But to answer your question, I had a great Thanksgiving. Thanks, bud.
Oh, thanks.
Well, let's get into it, man. So, we're talking early years. So let's go from Leamington. You're a Leamington boy. So tell us about your minor hockey. Let's go there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm the prototypical Canadian kid that wasn't ever the best. I was actually a way better baseball player, and that was my first love, but I was better at punching people in the face than I was at hitting a curveball. So at least I made the right decision. But it was always about hard work. And the one thing that, if you ask anybody that was around Leamington from in the 80s into the early 90s, if you travel along Erie Street or whatever, went down to the dock and whatever, from my house, from a mile outside of town, it was like 5 miles loop. I would do that every day. So you'd see this kid before rollerblades was cool out there rollerblading, trying to get better and better and better. The bottom line, what I'm saying is, what I eventually was able to be one of the few percent to capitalize on what I put in to get out of it. And the work ethic, what I learned, the opportunity back in Leamington, the old barn, being able to you know, be able to, you know, go there at 6 a.m. and skate before school, and just the love that I got through the community and everywhere, and the way that I was shaped by guys like Max Rafool and Mike Clem and Jake Unger, and you know, it was just cool to get the basis of, you know, where you're from, and you know, that's why I consider it Essex County. You know, being not only the Essex County Fight Club, I call it, it's the toughest county in pro hockey, but because you also learn, you know, the hard work. I mean, I picked tomatoes, I detasseled corn, I worked at a air conditioned refrigeration family business that you couldn't get fired from or quit, which sucked, which was my motivation to work hard. And so getting punched in the face, that was nothing. You know, I mean, I did that for fun on Friday night down at the
tobacco.
the
You're
place.
so right.
I mean, like, you know, like that's it. So might as well get paid for it. I might as well, you know, hone your skill. And that's the one thing that I was very fortunate, you know, and for me, I always call it the way I see it. And I know things have probably changed in minor hockey then, but I had to get out of the area in order to succeed because of the politics, you know, and I never played politics, but that's where my dad, Craig was smart enough. And, you know, Mike Sadler, who's a big, you know, junior hockey guy, was friends of my mom's from high school and stuff. So I had great direction as far as, you know, going and being able to play. So it was a great like opportunity to move away. But where I learned it was junior B, and a guy named Brian Drum that told me. So I went from playing Bantam in Leamington, and you know, scoring like at will. But that year I was skating with every team. Now I never played for the Flyers. I went from Bantam to junior B. You know, he told me that he played in the minors and stuff, but he said if you want to make it to the next level, you got to do something better than anybody. And for me, it was going to be physical, and I bought into it. So it's no secret if you look at my stats. First year in every league, all I do is fight. You know, you establish yourself, you get some room, and then you work on your skills. And I was just always fortunate to be around great players and great opportunity to improve my skating. I had to do the work. I had to travel to Connecticut and British Columbia and do the power skating schools with Laura Stam, do the hockey schools here and there, but I was willing to do it. It was, to me, it was always just a means to an end. I always say embrace the suck. You know, I never liked working out. I mean, you had to like, if you'd have to fool me. That's why they get into like those circuit training and stuff. That was right in my wheelhouse because you don't get bored. I mean, like, you ever see Wayne Gretzky said, you ever see a barbell score a goal? No. So you know, a lot of us aren't bodybuilder, physique, wrestling strong, but we're farm boy, Essex County, bale hay, you know, baling tomatoes, doing stuff like that. We're strong, and plus we can take a punch, bro. That's the one thing we like. Some of us actually like it. So, you know, that helped early on, and just, you know, you fill a need. It's the opportunity. You see what is there, and you see what you can be. I always say, I'm a cog in the wheel, right? I'm not. Look at the teams that I played on, the championships, all 4 of them, even the teams we lost with that were great teams. You're just a cog in the wheel, but you know what? You're an important part. So be the best cog you can be, because I knew that for every Red Wing team, I was indispensable. I did something on all fronts, and my greatest asset was Scotty Bowman realizing and using that to my advantage. You know, whether I thought it was right or wrong, right? You know, that's the whole thing. That's where he's so brilliant, you know, because at the end of the day, he's collecting Stanley Cup rings. That's all the man cares about. And if you're fortunate enough, you'll be there too.
God, that's fucking sweet, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Do you remember your very first fight, Darren?
You know, the only it might have been Phil Crow in LA. It might have been Warren Reichel, another Essex County boy out there. No, I remember my first goal, but that's funny. You know, like I really don't remember my first. I remember my first like real fight in junior and junior B was in training camp. And how about sick is this, right? So it's training camp, and then there's this kid. named Rod Crow running around, whatever, little dink. And I didn't come from fighting or anything like this. So something happened. He was running around. And I ended up grabbing him and beating the snot out of him. Well, my mom was so mad at me. My dad was like, yeah, good job. You had to do it. Because the rule that he always said is don't pick a fight, but you got to stand up for yourself.
Fucking finish one.
Yeah. So, I mean, it worked out. And then, so fast forward 3 years later, the only time I ever got beaten junior was by my first year by a guy that I would consider that I got beat was by a guy named Tony Yob. And he was a year older than me, but he was in Kingston. And I fought him his last year, and he was in Sault Ste. Marie. My mom was in the crowd, and I just beat the living crap out of him. And she was hanging on the glass cheer. And so, she came around. But here's the story for me is people like, how'd you get into hockey? Well, my mom was the first captain of the Essex Blue Angels back in the 60s. So It was my mom, and then my uncle Jack Roberts was the big hockey player in the area back in the days when they had the Windsor Bulldogs and the Chatham Maroons and different stuff like that. So
St. Thomas Junior B Stars and shit.
Right, yeah, back. Hey,
shout out to Joey Thornton there. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Like back when we watched Junior C, I remember in Leamington every year that they used to have the teams in the tournament, Christmas tournament, and used to go down there, and it was like these guys coming in from all over the country. I remember Leduc, Alberta, and it was like they were NHL guys and stuff like this. But to me, looking back, like junior was like pro. You go there and it's just like the fights and, two guys that I grew up that are the year before I went to junior B in Leamington that were big stars on Leamington Flyers were Sammy Rafool, who's one of my best friends to this day, and Gary Simons. But those two used to ragdoll the shit out of me in practice, and you learned, they're two huge influences when I was younger, looking back at it. So, it's all this stuff, but, being around, that's why it's always, important, where you grew up.
Yeah.
So 91, you had a 55 goal year, eh? And
How many malts have?
What's
how many
that?
Kirk Maltby have? You guys know how many Kirk Maltby had?
Kirk Maltby had only 50, right? Well, only 50.
Attaboy. Tony the tool bag could spit it out. Like I said, I fed him this information last week when we did this fucking trial run. But obviously, fucking kid needs some baby fucking meets the pre-wheels, meets some preschool wheels and stuff like that. Right? So that's all right. But yes, Kirk Maltby, my fellow grind line member, had 50 goals that same year in the OHL. I had 55, one player of the year. But anyways, what was your question?
Who was on your line that year?
Brent Gretzky, Wayne's younger brother, Tony Similero, and then Jake Grimes. It was like four of us played the whole game pretty much. So it was like rotate around. But all of us, even Scott Boston, our overage defenseman, 5 of us had over 100 points.
Wow.
I had the most of 127.
That's great.
That was awesome. He's either in the box or on the ice. Larry Mavity.
Yeah, I see that. You had 177 that year in the box.
What's that?
You had 177 that year.
Yeah, I behaved myself. I behaved myself. I had to score more goals.
It was a good year for everybody else.
That was a great year.
Darren, who did you model your game after most growing up?
Rick Tockett.
Fuck
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
That's my guy. And there were other guys along the way. It's Kevin Stevens, but it was all. I always was a big fan of Shanny's. But the guys that could score. You also had to be able to play, the leadership. So Tockett was bar none my guy. It was Lance Parrish, the catcher of the Tigers, and Rick Tockett, bar none. So,
yep.
That was really cool because being able to play with Paul Koff, some of the great guys I did, and to go to his wedding and meet Rick Tockett, and find out it's always great when guys that you idolize know who you are, or you know, recognize that, you know, it's cool. So
Yeah,
that
well,
was
I mean,
that was my
so-
guy. That's an easy question for me.
So it's just, so 92, you're drafted, and for anyone listening, it's 46th overall. It's not fucking 49th overall like shit says. Just for everybody else's information. But you nailed 26 points that year. Great rookie year, really. Like, I mean, you know, were you happy with that? Like, how did you feel rolling into the NHL?
Oh, dude, you're just happy, you know, to be there. I knew that Proby's Batman needed a Robin. So that just means first year, fly around, fight everybody and whatever, and pick up some scraps and work on your game and practice. And you get to skate with Steve Yzerman and Sergei Fedorov every day, and you know that's the sort of evolution. You know, when you realize that the games are sometimes easier because you don't have Nick Lidstrom playing keep away from you, or like a Mark Howe, or you know, like some guys you can hit. When the time the real puck drops, you're like half the time you're running the D-man because you're pissed off at Nick Lidstrom for making you look stupid in practice. But that's he made everybody look stupid.
How good is he, eh?
His nickname's a perfect human. And it's effortless. And when you watch him, it's that silent assassin. And I'll tell you the one thing about Nick Lidstrom is that he can bat any puck out of the air at any speed coming to the blue line. Go back and watch him knock pucks out of the air, and not just knock them down. Like it's incredible, right? And then and half the time, you know, because we'd always because. The thing I'm most proud of having the 4 cups is myself, Chris Draper, Kirk Maltby of the Grind Line, then Nick Lidstrom and Thomas Holmstrom. Well, Homer and Nick, we always used to say Homer was he wasn't really part of the team. He just got on because of Nick and because he was his driver. And then it'd be funny because Nick would drive the back. Hey, it's funny because if the guys would be walking out to the car because they rode together, right? Homer would get in the front to drive, and Nick would get in the back seat like it was his chauffeur. Dude, he'd have the boys fucking up. For Christmas, guys bought him a chauffeur outfit and stuff, you know, like all this stuff, you know, stuff like that. But as far as like, you know, the only time that, you know, Homer was so good at tipping the puck, but it's just like Nick would almost like, he's like, stick your stick out and, you know, I'm going to knock it off it. And that's how good he was. You're put in that pristine company because you deserve to be, and you look at the longevity of the guy. You know, it's unbelievable, and he's as great of. You know, one thing Nick Lidstrom is great of a hockey player is a better human being. That's, you know, you can't say much more.
That guy, what a career!
What was it like playing with Joey Kocur?
Oh, it's fucking awesome. It was great. So everybody asked me, "What's the you know, the toughest fight you had or whatever?" And I said, that's easy. My rookie year, you know, Joe Kocur was with the Rangers, and it's proven, you know, that the only thing that is more lethal than Joe Kocur's right hand is Thor's hammer. So that means that, you know, because when you fight guys, you like guys that, you know, maybe break your nose or cut your something, not guys that end your career. Joey Kocur is one of those guys that ends your career. So I squared off right-handed, and I'm a lefty. He throws a punch, I duck. He takes a piece of my helmet off. We get in a headlock, hit our heads on the ice. He looks at me and says, "You all right, kid?" I looked at him and said, "Thanks for not killing me, Mr. Kocur."
He literally.
Moral of the story is 2 years later, he comes to us in January, and he was one of the 3 missing pieces. In hindsight, was Brendan Shanahan, Larry Murphy, and Joey Kocur, because to this day, his nickname's Papa, because he's like the Papa, the father figure to all us crazy kids.
There's some crazy out there.
What were you gonna ask him about? You were gonna ask him something there real quick.
No, I can't remember.
Anyway, so like I want to go straight to March 26, 1997. Let's go to the fight, man. Like, I mean, that thing, everybody, like, I remember it to this day where I was. I was at the Colchester Bar and Grill having a fucking beer, watching it on TV. I remember exactly where I was. A shout out to them, by the way. But everybody seen that. whole thing with the Colorado Avalanche and the Detroit Red Wings. Like, take us through that shit, man, because that's some exciting, like, you know, if you were drinking a beer at the time, you put it down for a second. Like, you know, if you weren't watching it, then just, like, you know, hand in your, like, I'm a hockey fan card.
And the two guys who started everything, like two guys who like never fight started all that.
Well, here's the thing, guys. If you're gonna do the true justice of the story, we gotta rewind.
To the Draper.
We gotta rewind, yeah, of why the importance of what happened, why March 26th happened, and the imperativeness of it. Because it's not just the fact, the gravity of it goes way deeper. It goes back to, you said I was drafted 46 overall in 1992, played a year in the minors. First year that I played, 93, 94, we won the President's Trophy, lost to San Jose in the first round, right? Then there's the lockout year, half the year. We make it to the finals. We're the big favorites against Jersey, and we get, for lack of a better term, the snot literally kicked out of us in 4 straight. Up the mountain again, down. The next year, right, when it's all supposed to come together, right? You know, you've got 3 years, you put this great team together, you're starting this, you know, the Russian Five and things like that, and you win 62 games that'll never be broken. I know Tampa Bay tied it, but it's a different NHL. I'm just saying, like, back in the day. And then you face Colorado, who you knew because of the way that they're made up, and with their Sakic's and their Forsbergs and their Kaminsky's and their Foots and their Patrick Waz, they're mirror each other, you know. And so the fact that it was Game 6, and the fact that when Claude Lemieux in the second period hit Chris Draper from behind, right in front of me, broke his jaw, crushed his orbital. It wasn't the fact that we lost the game in the series. Because in life and in sports, bad things happen. We can all agree with. But you can never, ever lose respect for a fellow human being. And that's what happened, right? Because Claude Lemieux came out and said, I'm not sorry. You never would have heard of him. He made so much money, you know, this and that. I'm from Leamington. That don't sit right with me, man.
Okay.
You're lucky I don't show up and kill you, like, whatever. I got to condone. So here's the story, guys, because this is what everybody wants to know. Because 2 days later, back in May of 96, when Chris Draper's getting out of the hospital, I'm the one who got him out of the hospital. I'm the one the doctor said, here's a pair of pliers because his jaws are wired shut. He's got a new orbital bone in case he gets sick, because you don't want him to puke and asphyxiate himself, and that's great. So we got in the car, and there are only 2 things that were said. And they're both by me. And I looked at Drapes and I said, don't worry, I'll take care of this. Then I asked him, where do you want to eat? Fuck that little prick. Loaded question. I knew he wanted gnocchi from Andiamo, and it takes a guy with his jaw wired shut, a titanium place in his face, 4 hours to eat that plate of freaking gnocchi. I'm not bitching, boys. I was drinking back then, so I was out on a boat. But anyway, but that's the whole thing. You have time to think about it. And then what happens is you get beat by them, and then just like anything else, whether you're Harrow, Kingsville, Amherstburg, Essex, Colchester, you have this rivalry that over the years you can't beat the same age group against. Well, we hadn't beaten them in the same year of the 96-97 series. So when it comes to March 26, 97, the final game of the year, the most important thing is winning the game, because we have to feed the dragon, and no matter what about getting the revenge, and you have to play it out perfectly. And you know what? The one thing is that I racked up a lot of penalty minutes, but I wasn't a stupid player. I pride myself on not costing my team. I'm not saying that I never did, but there's a lot of other guys that cost their team more in certain situations.
Well, there's a quick shout out there for like good penalty minutes.
Right, like picking your spots properly when the game's out of hand. That's why the old junior adage, when 3 goals with 2 minutes left, it's a 5-on-5. Okay, get your pens, set your tone for your next game with your rivals and stuff like this. Well, we had to win. This is bigger than that. This is the NHL. This is like, are we ever going to go back? Are we ever going to get over the hump? So the fact of, like you said, how it started, and I'll take you back because it was inside the second period, and I look over, and it's freaking Peter Forsberg, their star, and Igor Lariana, right? All 5'6", 140 pounds. The professor, I think he should have been called Google, because back in the day when guys used to say, "Where'd you hear that?" I say, "Iggy told me," and they go, "Oh, it must be right." But, you know, he got screwed on that. But, you know, like the biggest pacifist next to Gandhi, Igor Lariana, boy, I look over and he's had enough of Peter Forsberg. He starts slapping him. I'm like, "Oh, it looks like puppies on Christmas morning." Then I remember, boom, Shark Week was on the ice, but at his foot, that big-nosed lumberjack, he realizes it too, and he grabs me like this, and then Shanny like karate chops him, and then I get free, and I fade the linesman. And this is where I tell you the difference between a cold cock and a sucker punch. Sucker punch from behind 99.6% of the time. Don't do it. The other 0.4, they deserved it. But a cold cock, not just a cold cock, the cold cock of all cold cock. Because I pull back my right, not my left, which I'm a lefty. Go watch my fight videos. I pull back my right. And every man, woman, child in Red Wing Nation, Wing Wheel Nation, the universe was in that hand. And I absolutely lambasted him into the fetal turtle position. He said he didn't turtle. The man, Claude Lemieux, said himself years later, he said, "I didn't turtle. I was knocked out. That's the hardest I've ever been hit. I saw stars and I was down." Had him on the ice. I don't know the goalies are going. I don't know what's going on behind me. Shanny's tackling Juan, all this, the video, because I'm trying to rip Lemieux's freaking heart out through his nostrils, even though I know anatomically it's not possible. Then I look up. And just like at church with the sun coming through the beautiful stained glass, right? I look and there's drapes. And I took Lemieux's head as hard as I could, and I bulldogged it, which means I slammed it as hard as I could, like American History X style, but with my hand instead of my foot, right into the boards, and splattered the paintball size blood splatter there. I signed that for American Bank's president, Mark Gregory, because I knew him. He got a picture of it. That was pretty cool. Tried to knee him, but the linesman said that I was off balance. I got 4 minutes for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct.
That's beautiful.
But I stayed in the game, guys, and here's the thing, right? I stayed in the game, and I'm not saying we're sitting here if things didn't change, but it doesn't have the same impact because we're down 5-3, and we end up tying it up. And the kicker of it all, the God shot, the karma, the don't fuck with me, the shit like that moment is who scores the overtime winner? This guy, right? I scored the overtime winner. And at that moment, so I not only slayed the dragon, I got the princess, did whatever, got it all. I got the storybook from this Leamington kid that used to pick tomatoes and got kicked off a detasseling bus, you know, for messing around too much and shit like that. Same kid, you know. It was at that moment in the Wing Wheel Nation everywhere. No matter where you were, it was a proverbial, "It's going to be all right." I don't know what it means. It's going to be all right, right? Say the only other time, that's the first time. That's why I call that Red Wing D-Day, March 26, 97. Yeah. The second time I felt it was when Steve Yzerman was just hired as general manager last year at the press conference. It was like, oh, that same feeling came over me. So it's just not when, it's when. And so that, you know, because hindsight is great, that catapulted us, you know, into back-to-back Stanley Cups, you know, in 3 out of 6 years, and then ended up with 4. So
I was so happy when frickin' he came back. So after all that, Darren, one of the things that I've always wondered growing up all these years, so you and Claude there fought right off the draw that one game,
that was that.
Right?
So the funny thing is my sobriety date, right, on my hand is 11/11/15. That fight was 11/11/97. So that was the next season. That was his 97-98 season. That was the first time we faced off. And when he came around, because he's a right winger, I'm a right winger, and we came, I did all the talking. I did all that motherfucking. I said everything that you shouldn't say, you can't say. It didn't matter. Berated everything, you know, everything you could say. And then the puck dropped and Drapes won it, and I looked and he blasted me. And the first thing I was thinking was, okay, good, he's gonna fight this time. Mm-hmm. Dude, I used to, hey, I don't know how many times you have to take one just to get a guy into a fight. You know, that was growing up. So, you know, the one thing is, you know, I don't make it a habit. I make it a habit of getting out of the way. But in this case, it worked out well. And, you know, that was back in the day when I could get out of my jersey and it was, you know, like more fighting with the geese. So I ended up giving him 2 black eyes, but he ended up getting a hat trick the next night in Washington. So, you know, but not on my watch.
I always wondered what was said there. That's why I thought I would ask you.
Put it this
that
way.
thing on your phone.
I can't repeat it. I won't. You know what? Maybe like if we were like together in person or whatever with you, because it's that bad.
Yeah.
That's all I
seen
gotta
something
say.
on your Facebook on Instagram.
Because here's why. I still no respect for that human being, right? Absolute zero at the time. I would never say that stuff today because I respect him as a man. Go to the off the record, Michael Landsberg, 2011 is the first time I met him. And we've done signings since then. And see, he's one of those people that separate. He's like, oh, the hockey guy's the wrestling character. I'm this guy, you know, like 100%. Where I'm both, right? And you can't separate that. And even though you're playing the wrestling character, I get it. You're the most hated villain. You can't lose respect because somebody's gonna call your shit out on it because you're gonna do it to the wrong person. And I guess like vulnerable truth with integrity is my heart virtue. So it ends up having to be me, whether I like it or not. The fuck you doing, Tony the Tool? Fucking it up again. You start fucking with buttons and shit like that.
Just making sure, Darren, right? I got it.
We don't need another mishap.
Yeah, we're just trying to get you on again, Darren. That's all.
We'll see you next Monday.
I know your tactics. Listen, I know a few chicks from Harrow. Bro. It's the reverse. Leave your purse at my house. Yeah, trust me.
Holy shit!
Hey, did you let these guys know that you're footing the bill on the golf game there?
Hey, that's okay. I'm down. That's
I got us a free golf game, boys.
Yeah.
Tell them there's got to be a lot of drinks.
Where at?
Well, you guys can say,
For us.
you guys can have as many drinks as you want.
Yeah.
I will be giving as many cannabis conference lessons that you can understand.
Yeah.
I will even go through the plethora of, you know, I'll probably try to sneak Tony, you know, a little bit of an edible that just sends him off to outer space. That'll be fun.
I might bring a few cookies myself.
Now
Not a bad idea.
Darren, now that being said, Darren, like weed has saved your life, right?
Oh, that's 100%, dude. That's if you know my story, and I got the Darren McCarty brand on here, and I joke around, and you know, some of the times I go, listen, 2020 is not that bad. Cannabis is legal, gambling's legal in Michigan, and I have a WJR show from 7 to 8 on Friday nights. And fucking look, even Tony the Toolbox tracked me down. Fucking it can't be wrong. I'm on the fucking Hockey Podcast.
Shit's lining up.
But it's 2015. I am a fucking raging alcoholic. You can fucking go up and down, fucking, you know, it's just, that's genetically it. And the cannabis and the education has given me the fact that I don't need booze. I educate myself through what the CBD. I'm an alcoholic insomniac, so it was more on capturing the sleep, which is the education of the CBN and the plant. And without getting too specific, yes, I protect this plant just like I protected the Red Wing. Just like Anthony's fucking shirt right there is that, like, those two things are the nearest and dearest to my heart. So when you see me react in a way that you would expect, I will, because it's all about, do you know you have the option? It's not whether you do or don't. I don't give a shit. I actually prefer you don't. If you don't, then there's more for me. Then that's selfish, and that's not me. So right? I'd rather, you know, you say I got some cookies and stuff like that, and it's like, all right, let's try out, you know, who's got this, because there's a conversation, because I believe you can be your own, you know, doctor. It's the same thing as, well, if you're looking at what you're putting in your body food wise, why don't you look at, this is a plant, this is, you know, this matches up, the studies are there, we're in 2020. You know, it's not, look at God security blanketed me you know, by making Michigan legal at the end. He made Canada all legal because he wasn't sure what the fuck I was going to do, but he just wanted to make sure I had options.
He didn't know where he wanted to live.
See, now you're getting it. Now you're getting on it. See?
Hey, the more
Right,
time we
exactly.
get
I'm just
together,
saying.
the more I get.
No, so you're in conjunction with Pensana, and you got a whole bunch of different stuff going on. Like, I mean, can you give it a shout out to that? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
some new
absolutely.
products and stuff. And
Yeah, so the Darren McCarty brand is licensed by Pensana, and the great thing right now, because, and you're wondering all the sweet in Canada and stuff, and yeah, I do have pre-rolls, but I have CBD roll-on, which is coming out, and it'll be e-commerce, so it'll be available in Canada and stuff, and it's something that I personally have spent with our chemist slash shaman slash healer, Brent, who's a friggin' great guy. I've known him for probably 10 years, where he used to work at a lab, and he's one of the most educated guys. So the why it works is because I believe that through pain and sleep and appetite, that's you get your education or get your conversation of, well, why does that feel better? My elbow hurts, you rub that on. Why does that feel better? Well, because your endocannabinoid system. So it's my job, right, on the front line is to make, I want to make the stuff that you know as guys, it not only smells good, so it's vanilla Madagascar or Madagascar vanilla, which is one of the most expensive on the planet, but it gives you that aroma that it's that like professional massage room, Anya vibe where you're like, you just like, it feels like old school, you know, middle-aged medicine or something like this. And the way that interacts, it's just a game changer. And just to be able, like, that's why I'm so blessed, just not only to be able to surround myself with like-minded people, but also like really to be able to make a change or to have a conversation like this. So, you know, I got that. There's also, well, you know, and just like everybody else out there, right? All these different, you know, COVID has made everybody change things. So as far as time frames, but like I tell everybody, one of my sayings is you have to live life like the plant, patient and resilient. So you got to be ready to ebb and flow. You might have an idea of how you want it to go and you're working hard on it, but you got to be able to recognize the message in front of you. And it's like when you surround yourself with like-minded people that you want to accomplish the same things, then it opens you up to not only helping each other with your weaknesses, but also just capitalizing on each other's strengths. And that, to me, it's, you know, I'm all about surrounding myself with people that make me better person, which make me want to work harder, which make me, you know, not ones that sit and mooch. And, you know, everybody that I surround myself with now, and it took me a long time, so that I surround myself with now, you know, has a vested interest and is about the life instead of just the dollar and stuff like that. And a lot of times, so the whole thing, look at how long it took me to find. You're supposed to get it when you get it. You're not supposed to get it when somebody else tells you, when somebody else does it. What you're supposed to do is, if you don't like where you're at, look at what you have to do to change it. Or if you do like where you're at, look around and be grateful why, and work harder at that. So, you know, that's a little, you know, I get a little preachy sometimes, but I just, because I don't want you guys, the younger generation, or it doesn't even mean younger, you can be 20 years older, is that if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, there is a way out. Because to answer your question, that's what this plant gave me. This plant gave me the power enough to slow things down, to get healthy, to be able to fight, to figure out who Darren McCarty was to Darren McCarty. I know who I am to everybody else, right? Now you get a combination of both, and doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, I dig it. I'm trying to make the wife dig it, but she don't dig it. My wife even don't dig it that much because it's called accountability. I'm Captain Accountability, and it's fucking bullshit.
One of the things, Darren, I have to ask you is I sleep like shit. What do you think I need to sleep better?
You got to look into CBN. So CBN, little history of the plant, is more the sedative, like more So it gets into more of the hash properties or more of the well-done part of the plant. And certain properties, the indica strains produce more of this CBN. It's in the same family as CBD or CBG. The G is for like digestion, where the N is for nighttime, right? But here's the difference between a CBN. Anytime with the CBs, there's no high to it, right? So it works on the body. But what it allows you is the CBN is it's allowed to layer. So if you know, like if you're messing with edibles, no matter if there's just CBD edibles or whatever, there's a duration of until it works. And then you go for the ride. And then to this. With CBN, you can get, we call it, take the bear down and put the bear to sleep. And that's what a lot of us look into. Now it's the, because it's sort of like, I wish in a perfect world, dude, that the stuff that I have access to, which is slowly coming out, but it's just more of a learned thing. So I would do your education, because I know they, even in Canada, the way that, dude, my cousin lives in Waterloo. He sends me pictures of the shit that he goes, dude, how can I not order 4 ounces of this shit at $100 an ounce? And I've smoked the shit that he gets, and it's not bad. But the RSOs and all the medicines, so I would look into CBN. I'm sure a credible company over there, you know, I know Afria because they're out of Leamington, and I know the owners, like whatever, different companies like that, you look into it. But I would look into the CBN for sleep.
I will look for that. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, I just want to say this, though. Like, I mean, 4 Stanley Cups in Detroit. I mean, just the way things went, and your timing and your goals and your overtime winners, and, you know, and then you were injured, and there was the little Calgary stint, but you're back in 08 and boom, win another cup. Like, I mean, it takes a lot of people to win a cup. It ain't one person. And I mean, I respect Stevie Y, man, but I mean, I got to say, like, you know, you must have been definitely a key to those 4 cups, man.
Well, I mean, I think that when all you have to do is listen to the other people talk, like when we all talk about the team, we all talk about not our part, what it was about. And I've heard enough of my teammates, you know, talk about how much I'm a priest. That's the one thing, right? Why I would go out there, and whether I wanted to or not, fight whoever, is because I didn't want them to, and because they respected that. And I always knew how much I was appreciated by my teammates. So that's why you go to the wall. Even coming back in 08, I used to always joke with Kenny Holland, you haven't won a cup since 55 without me in the lineup. You need to give me a tryout. Made him look smart. Now we're on the kick because Drape's drafted us, which, by the way, side note, I got to give props to Chris Draper, because the only thing I'm really jealous of him about, because we have the same amount of cups and a lot of same experience, is that he and his kid put themselves both in the position as director of amateur scouting and to get drafted, that he was able to draft his kids. So just like I told Kenny Holland, he hasn't had a Draper in the lineup since to win a cup, you know, since 55. So maybe that when Keenan Draper, he'll make that splash in 3 or 4 years, and there's the answer. So something to chew on.
I'd love that. I'd love that.
Hey, did the Stanley Cup ever make it to a tomato field?
Fuck yeah, ask trees. Ask trees.
Telling us about you guys throwing
Mike Impen's backyard. That was 97. That was the most fun we had, because I had the hitmen, you know, who are responsible for my music career, probably getting the balls, you know, letting me go and raid their stage when I was home from junior and all that stuff at the Seacliff back in the day. So that was so much fun, just to be able to have it at the Bush party and everybody you grew up with and hang out with. And yeah, shout out to my boy Trees there. And, you know, which is, by the way, which I tell everybody, don't tell me what, tell me who, because it's the right people that get to know you. And I don't know what the fuck. I'm going to have a word with Trees, because he fucking gave Tony the tool, goddamn, my digits. So I understand, because he's buddies with you guys. I didn't know you guys before, so now I understand what it is. And Trees will fill me in what a tool of fucking Tony is, and then we'll all be screwed.
It's funny how he loves the Leaf fans now.
Yeah, right?
What the fuck's going on here?
Dude, yeah, bro. What's going on is, can you not have some fucking compassion, bro? Now we look like we're better as Lions fans because they just canned the fucking Quinn Patricia. We're at least at par with fucking Toronto right now. Who's gonna win a fucking Super Bowl or a fucking cup? I mean, you can't even go with me, dude. I'm not gonna be. None of us are gonna be alive for him to win fucking 4 cups, let alone 5. So fuck, can you just give a fucking Maple Leaf fan a hug today when they're fucking being nice? Fuck, Tony. That's why, bro.
The Maple Leafs have a better shot at winning the Super Bowl than the Lions do.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
now, bro.
Patricia too, man.
I don't know now, bro. I don't know now, bro. At least they're gonna hire somebody new.
Yeah, but we
You
say
guys
that
You guys are close.
He's a coach, man.
Hey, you guys are close.
Hockey, but I'm just saying it's.
When's the last time you guys were at the finals? And I don't mean the conference finals. I mean the Stanley Cup finals. Playing for that big Stanley. So you haven't even been in the building with Stanley in the building. Okay, I was just wondering.
I have. No, actually, but anyway.
I went to the hockey.
We
Hall
talk
of Fame.
facts. Hey, D-Mac, I always say enjoy my truth. I'm just spitting facts, bro. You could be like some girls I know that just don't like the truth.
So epic chirps. We're gonna go right there, man. Because last time we were talking, you told us the Shanny Avery chirp, and you got to give us that one again because that was fantastic. But then, I mean, I'm sure you got a couple others.
Well, that was the everybody knows Sean Avery run his mouth and stuff like that. So when he got traded from Detroit to LA, we played there about a week or 2 later. And when you walk to the dressing rooms, there's a back alley, or the back alley, back row, whatever like that. And there's a back entrance to the medical room for the wings, and then the medical room for LA. Well, a bunch of us are standing back there, and Sean peeks his head in to say hi. And there's me and Shanny and Drapes and Stevie and, just saying, how's it going, this and that, whatever. So game goes on, and Sean's one of those players that, forgot that, that there's like etiquette in certain ways, and comes up, and I always used to sit between the benches. And so he comes off, and Shanny's coming off, and he
This is
turns
when he's
around.
playing for LA, right? Avery.
Yeah, Sean Avery's playing for LA.
Right.
Because he'd been traded. And Brendan Shanahan's playing for us. Shanny's coming off for a trade, and Sean goes, fucking Shanny, fucking Scotty's this, Scotty's that. Says something about shit that he shouldn't have said and whatever like this, and right in front of it. And Shanny stops in his tracks, and he goes, Sean, were you just not in our dressing room, in the medical room, before the game telling us that Terry Murray, your coach, could suck your cock, all the rest of your teammates were fucking bunch of fags, and that you hated it there, and then it was the biggest bunch of friggin' assholes you ever met in your life, and you hated all of them? Shut up, Sean. And they got in the thing, and Avery slinkered on or whatever. Don't know what it went from there. The other funny one was, God rest his soul, Sean Burr. Played with Sean Burr. We used to call him, Proby used to call him Skippy, because he used to talk like, so he used to chirp. He used to run around and hit guys, and then Proby or Joey do the fighting for him. So the one night he's running around, we're in St. Louis, and the faceoff's in front of the bench. And Kelly Chase, the tough guy for St. Louis, comes out, and he hits Chase, and he goes, or Chase hits Burr, and he goes, we're going, shut Burr. Puck drops, we're fighting. Bursey goes, no, we're not. He goes, fuck you, Burr, come on. Puck drops, we're fighting. He goes, Bursey looks at him, he goes, nah, I'm fighting you. He goes, fuck you. Chase is all pissed off. He goes, if that puck drops, you're going to fight me, or I'm going to fucking fight you after the game at the bar. Burr looks right at Chase. He goes, no, that'll never happen. He goes, fuck you, Burr, why? He goes, I don't hang out at gay bars. It's in front of the bench. So the linesman can't drop the puck. He's laughing. Both teams were laughing. Whatever. Chase takes a penalty. I think we scored on the power play.
That's fucking fun. That's great, man. That's fucking hilarious. Hey, your goal there in '97. Where did those hands come from? That was
Bro, you beat one guy. I beat one guy one-time, one-on-one. It's all timing. You gotta be prepared for that opportunity when you never know when it's gonna pop up, right?
Mm-hmm. Saved it
No,
for that.
like I said before, what do you put in to get out? We lost in 95, 96. I spent a month both years in Sweden with 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds. And no, I wasn't counseling the camp because I was playing in the NHL. I was in the hockey school. In fact, one of the kids I was in there with, his name was Christian Isalius, called the Magic, who I played with in Calgary. He had 30 goals the year I played at Calgary in 05, 06. But he was one of the kids that was dangling my ass. And before each time, our instructor's name was Thomas Storm, and you do this. You'd handle the puck and you pull it in, push it out, pull it in, push it out as you're skating around warming up. And I tell everybody the difference between North America and across the pond is that here in practice you're told, get in line, wait your turn, hit the net, stop at the net, don't get hit by the next puck, don't touch the pucks when you're in line. Over there, if you're not touching the puck, then you're useless. You're getting in trouble. So you have to pay attention and be stick handling while you're in the corner messing around. That's why the Europeans are so good with their hands. It makes sense. We're too busy worried about running people over. And they're too busy about sliding through your legs. So, it just so happened that it came to, second period. And Darren McCarty, it's a line change. But grind line right winger, puck gets stumped into Vladdy, moves it up to Sandstrom. I go through the middle. I know it's one-on-one, but Darren McCarty plans to dump it in. He decides that, nope, you're going to be Mario Lemieux. Next thing I know, I got Nienema beat. And I remember going, oh, my God, I got him beat. Out of the corner of my eye, I just see this flash of orange. And I pull it. I'm this far from the net, guys. This far from the net. And you know why I scored? Because I said, please don't miss the net. And I did double pirouettes in the corner. 4-7 by the Russian judges. That's the whole difference conversation. They're biased to me, though. But I come out of the corner, and then who did I see? The guy that I've been watching on the same Joe Louis Arena ice since I was 10 years old, Steve Eisman, eyes the size of dinner sauce. He's looking at me going, what the fuck was that? And me going, ah. And him going, well, thank God you don't have to do it again.
What a goal, though.
And I was like, thank God, too.
Yeah, that was insane.
It was.
Hey, guys, but here's the follow-up to that. My Christmas card every year goes to Eric Lindros, captain of Philly, because he scored with 13 seconds left, with also not only made my goal, the cup clinching goal, but it also gave me my Joe Louis Arena favorite memory because I was on the ice with Eisman, Shanahan, Lidstrom, Constantine for the last face-off. I was furthest away from our net when the buzzer went and the streamers came down. The guys left the stands and people are up. It was so loud between blue line and blue line, it was silent. So my memory of the Joe was awesome. Then I smoked Marty LaPointe into the pile, and we ended up, Bulldog, you all right? Yeah.
So, Darren, if there was a song that they would play when you scored goals, what song would it be?
When I scored goals?
Yeah, so instead of the horn going off, they played your music.
Oh, like they play the Irish jig for Shanny?
Yeah.
Well, I like that filter. Hey man, nice shot. That might be a good one.
It's great too.
That's pretty sweet.
I said, hey man, nice shot, because that also goes to punching people in the face. But if I was coming on the ice, my entrance music would be Volbeat's Call of the Warrior.
Hey, are you on the ice at all, like recently, or no? Well, obviously not, because
as little as I fucking have to be. No, bro.
Really? Yeah.
Retired. Hey, Drapes, retired means I don't want to do it anymore. But I'll do anything for charity, so I'll skate a few times a year for charity.
Nice.
Fuck yeah. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for charity cause sake?
Yeah, absolutely. The big ones are over here, the Wounded Warrior Project. So what's really cool about the Detroit chapter of the Wounded Warriors is that there's a bunch of these guys that have served, have been injured or mentally or physically and stuff, but use hockey to get back in the game. So Grind Time with Darren McCarty, we do some sponsorship, make sure they have equipment, and they go play in a tournament in Orlando each year. So just a little bit of a way to give back. So look into the you know, if you're looking to give back, especially like hockey wise, because these guys just absolutely love the game. And, you know, whether it's, so I focus on those guys because I know them personally, and you know, they come out and skate with us alumni too sometimes. And it's really cool to see how, you know, how this sport and hockey to them is like weed to me. You know, it's saved their life because it's given them the camaraderie and, you know, different things. And like I tell my son is that your love of hockey and my love of hockey, you know, it's not this, can't be measured the same. Right. But I mean, you can love the game just as much as I love the game. I believe that's, you know, we can all love the game to the best of our ability. You know, some of us just care more than others. And honestly, this game has given me, you know, so much. But it is, you know, what you do is not who you are. That's a big thing too. So, you know, I'm just a kid that, you know, grew up pig pen, dirty kid, you know, before recess on Mount Carmel schools, and ran Mill Street School. Ran Mill Street School in 7th, 8th grade. Holla Murata. Holla.
Oh boy, do you guys have anything else for him, or?
I'm good, man. Yeah, that's fantastic, man.
I am good.
All right. All set. Hey, man.
Would you get that? What, are you going to fucking convert that to Braille now? You fucking, what'd you learn in the last week? Not only how to turn the speaker on, how to record it properly.
I just want to sit back and watch right now.
I'm just happy I'm getting hurt by a guy who's won the cup 4 times.
That's right.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I got
Too
one more
easy.
question.
See, hey, listen, Tony, let me tell you, that's one thing that you understand. Do you know how many levels up? If we were playing a video game, these poor guys, Toronto fans, still can't get off the ground floor. Bro, you and I'm hammering you hard because you're like level 59. Like, you're way up there, like Candy Crushing it and shit like that. You know, that's when the talk's back and you get like some dressing room shit. So they're still worrying about fucking getting to the finals. You're back in the dressing room getting treated like fucking Eiserman. There you go. Like Eiserman treated McCarty. I'm just treating you like Stevie treated me, bro, just so you get the feeling.
Oh, I love it.
Right? That's the samurai sword. Kick the dog, pat the dog.
So, Darren,
All right, good luck, guys. Look forward to
my last question
What's up?
is, so you've got to party with the cup like a bunch of times. Who had the best party?
Good. Wow. Mr. and Mrs. Illich's parties are off the hook, bro. They had shrimp cocktail bowls that were the size of small swimming pools. But the party the post bar parties in 97, 98, downtown post, you can't replace them. But in 08, Chelly had a pretty good party. Chelly's the godfather. So I will, for the 02 and the 08, I'd probably say Chelly. But Drapes is sneaky because he'll get that thing and then he'll be on a plane or a helicopter up north and stuff. So Drapes probably has the most stories. Drapes probably has the most pictures throughout the state with the cup at different places.
Nice.
But hence, that's how you get to be director of amateur scouting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
He's got pictures of something.
Thanks for your time, Darren.
Hey, guys, I don't know if you know that because I don't take the pictures because where I took it, we don't take pictures. That's one for
that a boy. All right, Darren. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a good one.
Get it out, get it all out. Yeah, stretch that thing.